Hi, everybody. Welcome, welcome, welcome to the Ladies Power Lunch monthly networking meeting. I am very excited because in the room here with us today, I have some people who are just so dear to me. Our special guest today, who's going to be sharing with us about making our lives more brilliant, is Nadine Mullings, and she and I have been friends for so long. She was introduced to me. We met at a retreat for retreat leaders, and we've been close friends ever since, and I just love that I'm able to share her with you. But I'm also excited because I have two of my favorite retreat leaders who've hopped on today. Veronica is here. She's my birthday bestie, and of course Christy. We both love nature so much, but we love different parts of nature, and so when we both come together, it's just amazing. So happy to see everybody today. And I think a great place for us to start is to just have everybody introduce yourself, say a little bit about who you are, a little bit about what you do, and if you can just say why you even show up for the Ladies Power Lunch monthly meetings, that would be great too. So Veronica, do you want to start?
Sure, I'll start. Um, well, my business is evolvative, and I help business owners and entrepreneurs bring and weave in spirituality into their business and their brand. So really helping them to integrate that and to up-level their energetics and their vibration and connect to all of their business on a soul level and make sure that that all resonates.
I love that. So how can folks connect with you, Vero?
Evolvative.com is my site. And from there, you can book a free call. We can have a virtual coffee and you can see my offering, different ways to work with me and all the goodness. And I'm
Awesome.
on
And
Facebook and
why
Instagram.
do you come to Ladies Power Lunch? Like,
Oh my gosh, for all the good vibes and connection. I've been kind of out of the loop for a while. I've just really stepped back for the last
mhm.
year, more or less. And I'm coming back out into the world, and I'm craving connection.
Yes.
So
Well, if you're looking for connection, I'm telling you that the best women are here to connect with you. So here we are. Christy, welcome, welcome.
Hi.
I see, the Vermont contingent is here in effect. It's
that's
it's
true.
just so great.
That's so funny to think about that. We're here to represent.
Yeah, we're representing Vermont in all its weirdness.
It's a beautiful day here today, Dr. Divya. So sitting out underneath the tree with bare feet is a wonderful thing today. I always think of you when I go out in the wintertime still, giggling about that. But anyway, I digress. So my business is called Crystalline Earth Healing, Restorative Healing, and I offer a unique holistic approach to blending shamanic arts and somatic embodiment and vibrational medicine all together, weaving that into um, really help people feel a felt sense of unconditional love, and really getting to the soul, getting reconnecting to our soul, where I use plants, sound, neuroscience, animal communication, energy work, family constellation work. There's a bunch of things in my toolbox, but a lot about ecosomatics and about getting into our body using the earth. It's all around like helping people get past their perceived limitations.
I love that. And I feel like that's gonna really tie into what we're gonna be talking about today, which Nadine's gonna be sharing with us. But Christy, how can people connect with you if folks wanna find out more about Christy and Crystalline Earth?
Yeah, I my website is crystallineearthhealing.com, and it's with a K, Krystallline. I make it a little bit, cool because it's kind of after me, Crystalline, Christy. And I'm on Facebook, Instagram. I'm on Instagram under Earth and Sorceress. Um, and I'm coming here today for networking, of course, and I haven't seen you in so long. And also to really just like pipe in and say that Veronica and I have this really amazing retreat coming up, and we wanted to like step in and just let everybody know about it today.
Awesome, awesome. So I was just looking on my
Ah,
shelf and I found this bottle of blessing spray and it's almost done, Christy. So I'm gonna have to reach out and get some more. But
wonderful.
I enjoy even just like the fragrance of it because it's like flowers, right?
Mm, mhm.
Yeah, I enjoy the way it smells. It's beautiful.
Mm.
So Nadine's going to share with us a little bit later as we go through today's agenda, but I would love, Nadine, if you would now just share with everybody who you are and a little bit about what you do.
Sure, definitely. Well, thank you for the invitation. I always love to come into this community. I love Davia's energy, her bubbliness, and her just genuine kindness and heart and spirit. So I always love to show up in her community. I am Nadine Mullings with Nadine Mullings Marketing Agency. And what we do in the agency is we help women of faith in business who may be struggling to market and promote their business. So I love the synergy in the room about spirit and soul, because we teach marketing from a spirit-led perspective. So not necessarily following what your industry does or a guru does or an expert does, but what does your spirit tell you? What is God leading you to do and say in the marketplace to market and promote your business? So that's really what I teach and what we teach in the agency, and what we help people to really embrace is that spirit-led marketing. And I always enjoy coming to the LPL events to connect, of course, to network, the energy, the vibration, just good-hearted people. So being invited here and also participating is something that I always enjoy doing. So I'm glad to be here.
Excellent. So for those of you who might be watching along who don't know me, hello, may I introduce myself? I'm Dr. Davia Shepherd, and I host Ladies Power Lunch, which is an amazing, amazing place. There are about 1,000+ women in our community. It's a completely free community, and if you are catching this outside of our community and you are a woman in business who believes that women supporting each other is really important, then I invite you to come join us. It's easy. Just go to growsmarternotharder.com/Facebook, and that's where you'll get a chance to connect with us. I I believe, really, really, really believe that when women are winning and when women have money and when women's businesses are doing well, that the entire community benefits, because women take care of everybody else. And so wouldn't it be amazing if more women had more resources to do the things that they want to do, to support in the ways that they want to support? And so that's why we built Ladies Power Lunch, because what Ladies Power Lunch presupposes is that there are 1,000+ women in our community, and they're women in business, women in small business, big business, corporate, entrepreneurs, solopreneurs, women who might own brick or mortar type businesses, women who might be more on a coaching side. Some of the women in our community are even retired, and they support us in a more mentorship role. But what's important is that if you're going through something in your personal development, in your life, in your business, and it's something that's sticky, something that feels uncomfortable, or something that just is holding you back, I can guarantee that there's somebody in our group of over 1,000 women who's gone through that before, who's been there, who's done that, and who has a framework, who has a blueprint that she can share with you so that you can move through faster, so that you can do a better job of shining your light and being the beacon that you're meant to be, because the work that you do is important. And so when you're able to shine your light, you light up the people who you're meant to light up, and they light up, and on it goes. And then in a long-term way, I truly believe the world becomes a better place when women support each other. So I know it sounds so grandiose and sounds so much like a task that is unbelievably difficult, but truly it's not, because we have this community and we are committed to supporting each other. So that's who I am. That's what we are all about. And I show up here once a month, every third Monday of the month, to just foster connections with our community. But I had something that I wanted to share with us, and let me see if I can share my screen, because if I can share my screen, then I can give you all a little bit of a preview about what it's going to look like for you to join our monthly meeting going forward. So for some of you, you might remember that we were using Encaptive to be our little home in a way, our home off of social media, so that if you wanted to join us or you wanted to attend your monthly meetings, that you would be able to do that through there. Well, great news. I have actually found a way to pull us all together, and it's not complete yet, but once it's complete, we're gonna be able to meet here. We're gonna be able to have our community here, all in this framework that we're building up. So basically, when you go in the future to growsmarternotharder.com/login, you're going to end up here. And it's going to say start course. And the reason for that is that what we're doing is we're putting in all the preview as well. I would say at the end of the day, it'll be probably about the last 12 Ladies Power Lunch monthly meetings. And every month we'll put the replays in. So we're calling this Ladies Power Lunch Freedom, and it's 100% free. And it gives you access to the Ladies Power Lunch monthly meeting. So the first thing that you'll see at the top is you'll see start course, and that will just give you all the previous Ladies Power Lunch monthly meetings. But if you want to join the current monthly meeting, it'll just give you an opportunity to join here. So that's basically the nuts and bolts of what it's going to look like. Like I said, we built it out to look like a course, because what I know is that every single month, one of our members comes and talks about something important. And yes, they're all available on YouTube, but this is going to be an easy place to find at least the most recent of the Ladies Power Lunch monthly meetings, and to also join in on the current monthly meeting. I have a question for y'all. Nadine, Vero, Christy, you think this will be easy for folks to navigate? Like they'll figure it out?
Looks simple enough so far.
I mean, just it kind of just says Ladies Power Lunch meeting link, and then you click on it and it takes you to the meeting. So it's still in, that preview mode. So it's not live yet, but it's going to be live, and we'll probably drop a little Facebook Live during the month to familiarize folks with it, because what we don't want is folks to hop on for the June meeting and then they're like, oh my gosh, this is different. I don't know what to do. The first front page is going to be an opportunity to log in, and basically folks will be able to create their own login. And then once they do that, they just need to kind of remember what their login is, and then they can use that to log in every time. So that might be a challenge, because every website, like, you have to log in, but I think that's probably the only thing that I see that is a little bit of a challenge. But once we get this all set up, the reason we're using this is because it's gonna give folks an opportunity to be able to connect with each other inside the membership, and it's going to be completely free. So that's great. Then the second thing that I want to say is that it's been 5 years since we've had our last retreat. As many of you know, before the lockdown, we were hitting our stride with retreats. Retreats were really a firm foundation of what Ladies Power Lunch offers. We get together as women in business, we go on and retired women in business, we go on retreat and we support each other. We learn so much from each other, and then we come back and we infuse all those things into our businesses and we grow our businesses. And so we hadn't done it in a really, really long time. And then one of our members was very adamant this year that we get back on track and get back to hosting retreats, because retreats are so important. And it's hilarious to me because Gail came and Gail said, we've got to get back to retreats. Nadine came and Nadine said, we've got to get back to retreats. And then Jen Oliveris came and said, we've got to get back to Ladies Power Lunch retreats. And I was like, oh my goodness, 3 is a charm, right? When things, Christy, Vero, when things show up in 3s, you cannot ignore them. It's like one of those divine numbers. And so I think it was maybe March, we said, okay, fine, we're going to run a test. Maybe some people will come on retreat. I was thinking maybe 3 or 4 people might show up, and maybe we just have a test and we go on retreat. We ended up with a full retreat. Full retreat. As a matter of fact, we had 2 women who wanted to come on retreat, but they couldn't, because we were full. Like, the accommodations that we had booked, our block was full. There were no additional rooms to be had, and so we had to close registration. So I said to everybody, hey folks, not to worry, don't worry, because we're gonna schedule to have our next retreat, and we're gonna do it now. So I'm just letting everybody know that coming up in October 21st to 25th, Ladies Power Lunch Fall Retreat is going to be happening. We're going to the Bahamas, of course. It's going to be a couple of things. It's going to be a lovely spa level vacation. It's going to be a destination retreat. It's going to be in just an outstanding resort style atmosphere. But most importantly, it's going to be an opportunity for us to really look at what's going on in our lives, look at what's going on in our business. And what I know for sure is that the Live Your Optimal Life principles are four things. One, we need to really, really focus in on balance. And I know everybody's going to say, well, we don't like to call it balance because then when we're not in balance, we feel out of balance. Guess what, folks? It's balance. I'm calling it what it really is because it's balance. And here's the thing that I I really want us to appreciate. When I talk about balance, it's not just, oh, I need to make sure I'm taking care of my self-love and my self-care. It's that too, but it's so much more than that. Like it's really, really deeper. We're talking about self-forgiveness. We're talking about self-appreciation. We're talking about self-recognition. There is so much. Like when you unpeel that onion, it's just more and more layers that you can get into. And we go deep on retreat into that because sometimes when that isn't addressed, that balance piece, it shows up in other areas of our lives, especially in our business. And then, of course, we love, love, love to look at not just how we're treating with ourselves, but how are we treating with others? And so that shows up as boundaries, right? Are we holding our boundaries? When we're holding our boundaries, are we being compassionate in holding them? Are we being compassionate to ourselves? Are we overgiving? What exactly is happening there? And a lot of the times that shows up also in our businesses. Those are, I think, the foundational pieces of Live Your Optimal Life. But then we dive into the next level, which is the beauty of our lives. And that's one of the things we want to talk about today. How many of us, and I'm going to just raise my hand right now because I know I go through this. How many of us, we're just getting through the day? Like we're slogging away. There is so much work and we're just doing it. And the nature, Christy, is passing us by. Like we're driving home. We don't even see the beauty that is around us. We're just, I'm looking out my window right now and all the trees have leaves on them. I could go through the whole day and not even look out there, you know, because I'm head down on the computer doing my thing, treating patients, whatever. How many times are we missing out on fulfillment and fun and nurturing the connections that we have and filling our cups up? How often are we missing out on that? How beautiful is our life, really? And this doesn't mean, folks, that we're fighting rainbows, right? That's not really what I'm trying to say. What I'm trying to say is, are we making the most of what we have available to us? And then the fourth pillar is brilliance, which we're going to talk a little bit more about later. And it's really looking at each day fulfilled. It's looking at focusing in on your passion and your purpose. It's really talking about things like your legacy. It's talking about shining your light and being the beacon and actually touching the lives that you're meant to touch. Like really living that golden life. And again, not talking about unicorns and rainbows here, folks. We're talking about the real deal because life is happening all around us. So I don't know. What do you guys think? Does it sound like exciting, good stuff? Yeah. Awesome. All right. So I think we can dive right in, and I want to invite you, Nadine, to just share with us a little bit about what your perspective is on this idea of having a more beautiful and a more brilliant life.
Yeah, I love that. Well, thank you again, Dr. Davia, for the invitation and to share. And I will say up front, I don't have anything formal prepared. I just love conversation and speaking from the heart. I feel, you really get a lot when you're just authentic, sharing, and you speak from the heart. And I love engagement. So it's not me speaking at you. Let's just all enjoy the conversation together. First of all, I wanted to say that I love those principles, starting off with really boundaries. Boundaries are so important. I read the book earlier this year. Dr. Henry Cloud, I think, is the author, about boundaries and the importance of setting up boundaries in our life to live a fuller life. So I think that is such an important principle. And then, of course, balance. As much as Dr. V has mentioned, we may not like the word balance. It really is about having harmony in our life to create beautiful life and create a fulfilling life. We have to have the balance in life. So welcome in, So I really do love all of the principles, including the balance, the boundaries, and also, of course, beauty as we take it to another level. But what I'm going to focus on today is the brilliance side of things. And it's something that God really put in my spirit just recently to really talk about a lot more about our brilliance. Each one of us has amazing brilliance. He has gifted each and every one of us with what I love to call tags. So tags is actually an acronym for talents, abilities, gifts, and skills. So we all have these invisible tags on us that God has placed on us, where we all have amazing talents, we all have amazing abilities, and we all have amazing gifts and skills. So I always look at it as we haven't necessarily read our tags, we haven't necessarily believed in our tags, so it's so important for us to, number one, identify our tags. Now, what are your talents? What do people always say? You're so gifted at that. You have such an amazing ability. You're so skillful at that. So sometimes just recognizing our tags is a way to embrace how God created us and embrace our own natural light, what God has given each and every one of us. So I think the first step in really stepping into brilliance is really acknowledging and embracing your own light, really taking an assessment and an account of those tags that you have. And sometimes it can even mean taking outside assessments. There's so many assessments that you can take that tell you about your personality. There's Briggs Myers assessment. You guys could probably name the Enneagram. There's so many assessments that you can take that really takes an inventory of who you are as a person and how you can really embrace your own light. So I think the first step in brilliance is embracing your own light, understanding what you have and understand what you bring to the marketplace, understanding how you're able to shine. And I kind of, as I mentioned, don't want to just talk at you, but have a conversation. So I guess I'm going to throw it out there. When I say the importance of embracing your own light, and I mentioned that acronym tags, what comes up for you about embracing your own light? Is it easy for you to do? Is it a struggle? Are you able to easily identify your talents, abilities, gifts, and skills and serve that up in the marketplace? Or has it been a journey for you? I'd love for us to have a conversation around embracing your life and what that's looked like for you. Anyone want to share?
Well, I'll share.
All right, Veronica. Veronica's being brave.
We have an intimate group here.
Yes.
Yeah, I think it's been a process embracing I love your acronym tags. It's great. So it's been a process embracing those, recognizing them and embracing them. I think often the things that we sort of do without even thinking that come really easy. I know
Yep,
for myself, like for a long time, I was like, what, doesn't everybody do this? I didn't even think it was a thing.
exactly.
And but I feel pretty good with those now, like pretty aware of them now. But I find now my challenges are most of the time my challenge is actually, oh, now putting it out into the world, like sharing it, being visible, talking about it. Sometimes it's hard to articulate when it's more, woo, touchy feely, intangible.
Yep.
Some of those things I find challenging. So
Yeah, I love that, Veronica. And it's so true. What Veronica mentioned is sometimes it comes so easy for us that we actually don't recognize that it is a gift. We don't recognize that it is a talent because it comes with the ease and flow. And like Veronica said, we feel like everyone can do this. But sometimes it takes someone pointing it out to you and saying, you're really good at this, and making you realize, oh, I am. And maybe not everyone is. So it is something that really allows me to shine, right? So really paying attention to that and inventory as to what is it that really allows you to be a light. I'd love to hear anyone else. Has it been a journey for you? Has it been easy? Do you embrace your tags? Do you recognize your tags? Anyone else want to share how they feel about embracing their own light? Because that's what the first step is, really embracing your own light. Christy?
I'll share. Um, yeah, this resonates a lot. So I always view my job or who I am as is in shamanism really is how to weave and integrate sacred wisdom into the modern world. And it's so hard. I feel like there are so many times where um, that's my soul calling and my purpose, and it's hard to find the tangible ways to do that that meets everybody where they're at, and try not to leave anybody out. And um, so I've been really working on my tags, my talents, and actually V and I talk about this quite a lot lately, who we are and what we're here to do. And it's getting easier. I think first of all, accepting who we are in this world is really hard. Sometimes I don't want to keep saying hard. It's not hard. In this world, it's a little bit more, there's a little bit more to it to really step up to who you are and talk about God or talk about spirituality and make it so that everybody understands. And so um, I've been accepting who I am and really what I am here to do, and that's about hope and inspiration and to be the bridge between the modern world and spirit. So it's still a process and still a work, and it takes a lot of conversation with the same kind of people to really feel solidified within you so that you can continue on.
Yeah, I love that, Christy. It is important to be in a like-minded community where people can encourage you to embrace your life, to step into who God created you to be. To get that encouragement from like-minded people in a community is so important. So there's usually 5 foundational things that really can help you to embrace your own light. And the first thing I always talk about is purpose, your why. Understanding your why, having a purpose statement for the work that you do in the world, really getting guidance in creating a purpose statement is the first step in embracing your own light. So understanding your why is number one. The second thing that helps you to really embrace your own light is having a vision. You know, God gives each and every one of us a vision, that picture of what the future can be like, what the world can be like, what your business can be like. So really stepping into that vision, having a vision statement that you can really cling onto to really embrace your life is key. So purpose, vision. Next thing is mission. A lot of times people confuse purpose and mission and think it's the same thing. But mission is really the action steps that you take on a daily basis. I always take it back to the Bible because spiritually, you know, as a woman of faith, I always lean on the Bible to get guidance and inspiration. And if you think about Jesus and the way that Jesus showed up in the world, he was always healing, teaching, and preaching. That was his mission while he was walking the earth: healing, preaching, and teaching, right? So what are those 3 things? What are those key things that's your mission, an activity that you do on a daily basis in your business in order to make that big vision a reality? That is really the mission piece. So really getting clear on the mission part of your business really helps you to embrace your own light. So purpose, vision, mission, and then calling. We're actually called to a specific group of people. God has, I believe, assigned each and every one of us to a specific group of people. So who's that group of people that God has assigned you to? Who's that group of people that God says, I really want you to help these people with the work that you have in the world, with the gifts that and talents and abilities. I really call you to help this group of people, to serve them in a special way. So identifying who you're called to serve helps you to embrace your own light. And so that would be some of the foundational pieces: your purpose, your mission, your vision, your calling. And then the last piece is your message. What is it that you're called to share with them? How are you called to inspire them? How are you called to encourage them? What insight can you give those individuals? So really honing in on your message in the marketplace. So that really is key in embracing your life. So that really is the first step: embracing your life. Veronica actually touched on the second step, which is shining in your lane. Shining in your lane. So once you embrace who God created you to be with your talents, abilities, gifts, and skills, and you understand your mission, the vision He's given you, who He's called you to serve, the purpose, now you have to shine. Now you have to shine in your lane. So how do you shine in your lane? A lot of times when you shine in your lane, so you can show your brilliance, is all about being visible. You know, being out there, just putting yourself out there, putting yourself in situations, just some of the key ways that you can be visible to other people so that you can call in the people that you're called to serve in the marketplace. So you can truly attract those people. So I'd love for us to have a conversation about shining in your lane. You know, how do you show up and shine in your lane? What are some of the practices and key things that you do in order to be visible? Is visibility a hard thing for you? Is it a struggle for you? Let's have a conversation about shining in your lane. Anyone feel led to share about what shining in your lane means to them and how they do that? Don't be shy. Now's your time to shine. Amanda, we haven't heard from you. I know you just entered the room. Do you feel led to share about what shining in your lane looks like for you?
Hi, Nadine. Hi, everyone. Thanks for inviting me to share. Yeah, it's good to be here with you. The shining thing, one of the things that I've been thinking about as you were talking is, we're all born with this beautiful, something to give the world, something, who we are and how we're to shine in the world. And as you were talking, I was thinking about the ways that so many of us, myself included, that kind of gets clouded over, maybe especially when we're younger, by messages we get or, things that we take on that aren't quite, that cloud us. And so I had this vision as you were talking about kind of polishing ourselves up, like polishing off or cleaning off the residue, the ways that we've been clouded, so that we can shine more brightly in our lane. So whatever lane that might be.
Exactly. I love that, Amanda, because it's about unlearning. So a lot of times we learn things through society, we learn things through our families, we learn things through school. And in that learning, it's like Amanda said, it's like clouding what God created us to be and who God created us to be. So there's a process that we have to go through to unlearn. Unlearn those things, to clean it off, to clean the lens, to be who God created us to be. So really, to step in boldly and shine in your lanes, a lot of that is unlearning limiting beliefs, unlearning the things that have stopped us in the past. So I love that you brought that up, Amanda, and that visual of cleaning the lens, getting rid of all that smoke and things that have stopped us in the past so we can shine in our lane. So I love that you explained it that way. Anyone else want to chime in as to when you hear shine in your lane, what does that mean to you, and how are you showing up shining in your lane?
I want to say that one of our dear members, who I haven't seen her in a while because she moved to Ireland, but her name is Anne Shabani, and she wrote this book, How to Eat the Elephant. Spoiler alert, it's one bite at a time. Anywho, I'm going to tell this long old story for you to get what I'm trying to get to. Her husband wrote a book, and it's one of those self-help, like really personal development type books. And for those of you who know my husband, he's not into that personal development stage phase at all. He's like all about facts and the figures. He's into the numbers. Show me that. But our dear member, her husband is a real guy's guy. Like he climbs mountains. Like he's just really speaking in the language that my husband can hear. And so he wrote this personal development book. And I had it on my nightstand, and I noticed it disappeared. Nadine, this book just disappeared when I noticed it was like dog-eared, and my husband had pretty much read it through and he thought it was the best thing ever, right? And guess what? That's because the author was shining in his lane. Like he was talking about personal development, but he was talking about it from his perspective. And he was talking very specifically to a group of people who totally get what he was saying. And yes, I liked the book. I thought the book was okay, but my husband loved it. It was like the most amazing thing ever for him. And I just remember Anne saying to us that we all have this message inside us to share. And we cannot think that, oh, somebody else is out there doing it. We actually are doing the world a disservice. She said, how dare you not? But I'm putting it in my own words. We're doing the world a disservice when we're not shining our light in the way that we're meant to, because the people who are out there waiting for our work, the people who are out there losing sleep at night because they need the stuff that we do, they're not having that opportunity when we aren't lit up. So there's a reason why we have to shine in our lane. There's a reason why we have to tap into that brilliance of our own lives. Because in so doing, we're actually, in my opinion, helping the world to be a better place.
Exactly. I love that story, Dr. Vivia, because it's so true. How we show up with the experiences we've been through, with the education, whatever God has gifted us with, is going to resonate with somebody else. And if you're not showing up being visible, if you're not showing up sharing your stories, if you're not showing up sharing your message, the people that will resonate with that, they're missing the message, right? They're missing the inspiration. They're missing the encouragement. They're missing the motivation that they need. It's like a ripple effect to take them to the next level. So that's why it's so important for us to really shine in our lane, whatever that lane may look like for you. Just really shine in your lane, be visible, be out there, spread your message, do what God has called you to do in the marketplace. So that second piece of brilliance is really shining in your lane. Embracing your light is the first piece, and then shining in your lane is the second piece. The third and final piece is being a marketplace messenger. So we've kind of already alluded to it, but each and every one of us has a message, has something that needs to be shared in the marketplace. That's why God put this business on our heart, because he knows that through you, you can share this amazing message and reach so many people. So I love to call my folks marketplace messengers. If they're in business, they're business owners, entrepreneurs, and they have a specific message that God has placed on their heart, being that marketplace messenger and spreading that message is key, right? So as I said before, I'd love to have conversation around it. When you hear marketplace messenger and the fact that you have a message to share in the marketplace, how does that make you feel? What is your thought on your message and being a messenger in the marketplace through your business and the work that you do in the world? Anyone want to share about really the message that you have, Veronica?
Yeah, I feel when I hear that right away, it takes me to a bigger picture or a deeper place. Like, because I think in general, well, I'll speak for myself. When I think about marketing in general, it's like, oh wait, how do I sell myself, right? In general business lingo, and it's like, how do I get people in? How do I, all these like the business aspect. But when you add messenger to that phrase, it's like all of a sudden there's a deeper calling there, and right away it changes. Like it's like, okay, what's my message? What am I a messenger for? And that changes the game, I think, a lot.
Yeah, I love that, Veronica. It's so true because each one of us were vehicles and vessels for something that God is designed to happen, right? In the marketplace, we're being used as a vehicle. We're being used as a vessel to get this message out. So I love that Veronica mentioned it's so much deeper than just selling a service. It's so much deeper than selling a product. We are actually messengers, and we have been assigned to the marketplace as marketplace messengers to make a difference in the world and to shine in your lane. So I'll wrap it up by just kind of going over those 3 points as we talk about the topic of brilliance. So the session for today was all about brilliance when we talked about those 4 pillars that Dr. Davia mentioned in the beginning about balance, boundaries, beauty, and brilliance. Our discussion on brilliance is the first step when it comes to brilliance is embracing your light. You have specific light, so it's important for you to embrace your own light. And we talked about tags, we talked about purpose and mission and vision. All of that helps you to embrace your own light. The second step with brilliance is shining. Now you've embraced your light, you know who you are, you know that message. How are you shining in your lane? How are you making sure you're visible and putting your message out there consistently? So that whole shining in your lane is where we create that ripple effect. It's where we make the most impact. Is where we are able to actually make a difference in the marketplace is when we shine in our lane. And the third and final piece we talked about under brilliance was really that message, understanding that you are a messenger. So what is that core message that you desire to share in the marketplace? What is that core message that you want to make an impact in the world with? So really embracing your core message and being a marketplace messenger within your business, within the work that you do in the world, as I like to call it. So that's all about brilliance. So I definitely appreciate you guys participating. If anyone has anything else to add along the lines of brilliance, as I said, this is more of a conversation than a presentation. So if anyone feels led to talk a little bit more about any one of the points that I mentioned or brilliance in general, if we have time, Davia, I'd love to hear any other thoughts as we wrap up the topic of brilliance.
I love that, Nadine. I would ask, Veronica, Christy, Manda, so glad that you're here because I can use you as a little bit of a focus group. When you think about brilliance in your life, like what comes to mind? What's really percolating there for you?
When I hear the word brilliance, I immediately think of a type of clarity. Um, so,
Mm.
so there seems to be a connection between connecting with our brilliance and being really clear about kind of what Nadine has been talking about here, our mission, message, why we're here, and being really
Mhm.
clear about that.
I love that clarity. I'm gonna make a note of that because that's a really, really good word for the idea that we're really trying to share here. How about you, Christy? When you think brilliance, like at the top when we said we're gonna be talking about brilliance today, what was what was coming up for you?
Well, for me, something that I focus on a lot and what I bring for people is connection. And so my brilliance is all about connecting people to one another, to spirit, to the earth. It's a deeper brilliance, but it's when we can get there into the deeper aspects, we really can shine a lot more and feel like we have um, a sidekick, like a community or a spirit guide, or there was something else, but it's completely gone when I thought about the connection. I feel like connection is healing, so that's where I'm out. Oh, it was about vibration. Like I use my vibration in the connection and in my marketing to bring the brilliance to help people see their own brilliance.
I love all of those things. I love that you said vibration. I feel like that's a really good word to embody what we're thinking about with brilliance, because I'm thinking about physics and how light is a wave, and like so is sound, like there's that correlation there. I'm very nerdy, folks. Hang
Mm,
tight. It gets
same.
worse inside my head.
It's so right and so real, though, that it is the current, it is the energy. And if you can create that current and energy, people can ride it with you and really feel it.
And we have
That
some comments in that ladies power lunch group. Rob is saying brilliance is about connection, and Wendy Lee is saying it's somatic. And I absolutely agree with that. Rob is agreeing with the idea that clarity is part of that brilliance. And Wendy Lee says shine bright like a diamond. I feel like I
yes.
can hear Rihanna in my head.
And I actually love that she brought up diamond because diamonds are always based on clarity, right? I'm not a diamond
Mhm.
person, or I don't understand the whole science behind it, but I think the clearer the diamond, the more valuable it is, or something like that. So when you are more clear, the more valuable you are and the more that you shine, right? So I love that. I think was it Manda that brought up clarity? Because when you think about diamonds, the clarity of the diamond is what allows it to shine more. So when we're more clear of who we are, who God designed us to be, and what our assignment is in the marketplace, we're able to shine more because we have that clarity. And because we're shining more and have clarity, we're able to make connection, like Christy mentioned, right? Connection with our audience, connection with God, connection with our creator. So that connection piece is so important with brilliance and shining. So I love that clarity and connection was a part of defining brilliance.
And Naomi says that I guess her perspective on brilliance is about being me, totally me. I think so
Authenticity.
many times, I can tell you, as a woman of color in America, I spend a lot of time in code switching. There are so many times when I have to catch myself and remind myself that it's okay to be me, to be totally me, even though society might not have decided that that's what they want. This is what I have to give. Like this is all I have. Confidence, uniqueness. Say a little bit more about uniqueness and being rarefied, Veronica.
Um, yeah, that's when I hear a brilliance, and when I speak about, I use that in my messaging too. That word, because I feel like it's not just any brilliance. It's not just any shining your light. Like it's something very specific. It's something very. I mean, I guess to the diamond example again, I feel like it's a rarefied light. And it's something that's very unique to you. Like when you shine your own brilliance, it's like you're not just putting yourself out there, you're showing that part of you that's uniquely you,
Mhm,
shining
mhm.
that specific thing. Um, yeah, and that just feels incredibly precious. I guess that's where the rarefied um,
I like that.
and
I
quality,
really
that's like the high quality thing.
I enjoy that. That feels really, really good.
I
Any
think
any
too.
last words, Nadine? Any suggestions that you have for us? Like if you had to give us one piece of homework today that we could head on out and go do that, and that could be a springboard for us to start shining brighter, start being more brilliant, start embracing that our life is good, but it can be better, that we can be the best version of ourselves, that we can be fulfilled, and just
Yeah.
what would you suggest?
I would suggest a couple of things. First, I wanted to piggyback off of what Veronica said about uniqueness and rarity. And it also is a way to differentiate yourself in the marketplace. So when you are showing up authentically how God created you, nobody can really copy that, right? You are you to the core. It's like your fingerprints, right? Is unique and only yours. It's the same way you can show up in the marketplace, uniquely you when you're authentic in the way that God call it, like I call it like fingerprint marketing. It's like uniquely you that no one else can duplicate. Because what I find a lot of times, especially when it comes to marketing, people are saying the same things, doing the same things. It's all like carbon copies. And so to go against the grain, don't be a carbon copy. Be unique. That is how you differentiate yourself in the marketplace by stepping into how God authentically created you to be. Is how you're going to shine in the marketplace. So it really helps to differentiate you in the marketplace when you're being yourself and being authentic and being genuine to how God created you. So I wanted to kind of piggyback on what Veronica said about uniqueness and rarity, because it was something that I feel is important to highlight, because that's what differentiates you in the marketplace. As far as advice for individuals who want to step into their brilliance, I would say it's inner work. It starts with the inner work. That's why I kind of talked about embracing your light. Embracing your light is understanding you. So really doing the inner work. I mentioned before about assessments. I've probably taken about 8 different assessment tests, the Enneagram. I've taken so many spiritual gifting. I've taken all the different assessments. And honestly, when I take those assessments, I see a theme, I see a thread, right? In a lot of those assessments, it's allowing me to understand myself and how God uniquely created me. And so once I fully understand that, I can show up in the marketplace in the best version of myself. So I'd say one of the first steps is take an assessment or 2 or 3 or 4 to really figure out who you are as a person, and then be still. We live in such a noisy world and everyone's shouting, in the marketplace. How can you just be still? Because God wants to talk to you. He wants to give you the answers. So when you're thinking about the things like purpose and mission, not thinking about it from your head, logically, this is who I should be talking to. Logically, this is what my message should be. But be still, really sink down into your heart and ask for divine guidance. I say, Holy Spirit, tell me. Ask the Holy Spirit. That's what I use Holy Spirit terminology, whatever the terminology is for you. That's what the Holy Spirit is there to do, is to guide you, right? So being still, going into your heart, asking for direction, I would say is the second step. So those will be look for assessments that can help you figure out you and your business, and then go inward and be still and ask for guidance.
I love all of those things, and I also enjoy assessments. I don't think I found an assessment yet that I don't like. Like, I find some truth in pretty much every single one that I do. Like, it's like, okay, this is great, self-discovery. And it's interesting because at the advanced age that I am, I'm still discovering things about myself. It's kind of amazing, right? Um, so I'm going to give us a little assignment as we wrap up here. I would love for you to maybe take a minute to just think. Uh, I'm going to invite you to maybe close your eyes and take a deep breath in and hold the breath, and then exhale all the way out, and then take another breath, hold that breath, exhale. Let's just do that one more time. Deep breath in, hold it, and then exhale. And just take a moment to think about, if you were shining at your most brilliant, how would you describe your current business offering? Just take a moment to think about it. How would you share that with the world? What are the words that are uniquely you that you would probably before this moment hesitate to say, but that are really, really a part of what you need to share with the world in order for the people who are waiting to hear from you to make it easier for them to hear you? And just take another deep breath in and hold that breath and exhale. And you can go ahead and open your eyes. And I'm going to put you right on the spot because sometimes you just need to say things and hear yourself saying it. And Nadine, I'm gonna put you on the spot because you are really, really an example for all of us when it comes to brilliance. So if you were in a brilliant way to talk about your current offering, what would you be saying?
Yeah, when we did that exercise, it really dropped to my spirit really clear, what was said earlier, which is clarity and connection. So I really help my clients to get clarity, those foundational pieces that we talked about: purpose, mission, vision. When they do sessions with me, it starts them on the path of clarity with those things. So my offering would be helping people to get clarity and connection. I love what Christy said earlier, because it's also connection inward, not connection outward always, but connecting with God for him to be able to giving you the space and the stillness to connect is what I offer my clients. In our sessions, it gives them ability to pause, to be still, to hear directly. So that connection, which, to be honest, Christy, I didn't even realize I'm offering them a space for divine connection so they can create divine strategy, right? So I would say my offering includes divine connection. So those would be the two things: clarity and divine connection is how I'm showing up in my brilliance and helping other people to reach their brilliance.
Awesome. And can you just remind us, Nadine, how folks can connect with you?
Yeah, absolutely. NadineMullings.com. So my name, NadineMullings.com, is my website, and people can connect with me there. And also, I'm on social media, so LinkedIn, Facebook, and Instagram. Instagram is I am Nadine Mullings, and then Nadine Mullings on the other platforms.
Awesome. Vero, I know this is an easy one for you because you also help others to find their brilliance. So can you share with us what's your current offering, but share it with us in a way that really is you being you.
Well, it's interesting because sometimes these are the hardest for me. The things that are easy for me to do for other people,
Yeah.
like no problem. Um, but I could really see that well, one, I hold space for people, and uh, and I offer a reflection. Like I really am quite often, literally, the voice of spirit for them, or the voice
Mhm.
of their guides or their ancestors or whatever it's calling for at that time. Um, Yeah. And the other piece is being in my energy helps people to, what's the word I'm looking for? Like entrain or recalibrate their own frequency to their higher, like their next higher level. So that's part of the space holding.
Yeah. I think people who appreciate the value of having a mirror will tune into that, right? People who are wanting to have a direct connection with their spirit guides will definitely be hearing those kinds of words coming from you and actually be able to see that brilliance in your message. So, yeah, I think listen back to the end of this because sometimes you just need to say it, you know? Listen back to the end of this and just hear what you were saying because you said all the words of all the things that I know that you do.
Thank you, Dr. Tavia.
And then Christy, tell us a little bit about your current offering, but in the most you way possible.
Well, I could add both Nadine and Veronica to that. Like, I feel like we're all of us women here, are kind of in the same realm here. But I want to add that what I do is to help offer and invite people into the curiosity, into um, being open to the transformation, being open to entrusting that whatever is needed the most is going to come in and show up for them.
Mhm.
Um, V and I were just talking about this earlier um, around our offering that we have coming up. And, we tend to get a little bit deeper and, it can be intense. And so we were talking about that and I'm feeling like curiosity and fun and I just hear so much lately about letting spirit sing to us and being open to what's available. Sometimes I know me for one, I can come in with some blinders. Like I have like, this is what I'm going to do. And I might miss something and it comes in later. I'm like, oh yes, exactly. And thankfully I'm listening and I hear that, but um, it's being open to the magic, open to what's coming in um, and then having fun with it and feeling curious and having
I love
conversation.
the having fun with it piece. That feels great for me. So if I were reading your marketing and I saw that piece about having fun, I'd be raising my hand for sure. And Amanda, I don't know, did you want to contribute to that
Yeah,
idea?
it's funny how we're all very, like I could say almost exactly what each of you have shared so far about what you offer and about the clarity. And in my work is really about helping people connect with their own inner knowing, which sometimes has been dampened by other people's expectations and whatnot, especially when people come to a crossroads.
Mhm.
If they can be in a safe space with me to really hear what's rising up inside them and connect with that, that will help them take the next aligned action to move in the right direction for them at that time.
Yeah, I love all of that. That's all really, really great. I'm going to invite you all to drop your links in the chat so that we can share that out with the Ladies Power Lunch Facebook group so everybody can know who all was on the call. And if they want to connect with you, it'll be really, really easy for them to do that. Any final words, folks, as we wrap up here? Or have we said all the things? Feel like we've said all the things? Yeah. Awesome. Well, it's been my absolute pleasure to host us today. I'm really glad that y'all showed up for this. And I want to invite you that we are meeting on the third Monday of every month. So next month, it's going to be June 17th. And I'm looking forward to sharing with you. And we'll also have another special guest. So I'm looking forward to that as well. Thank you, Nadine, for raising your hand and sharing with us about having a more brilliant life and certainly being more brilliant in our business. Thanks to everybody who tuned in with us over in our Ladies Power Lunch Facebook group. Y'all are having like a really, really fun conversation over there. So I'm looking forward to going back and just rereading all of that. Thank you so much, everybody. And I'll see y'all on the next show. Bye, everyone.